Show in Paradise, a popular American television talk show broadcasting live from the Bahamas this week.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, first at 6. This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC every day.
The Free National Movement encouraging residents of Englerston to join the party in order to enjoy a better way of life. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Altaviz Munnings. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, first at 6. It's always good to see you. Free National Movement leader, Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Hubert Minnis pitched the idea to Englerston residents during a constituency association meeting last night at the E.P. Roberts Primary School. And in tonight's top story, we can tell you that this is not the first time the FNM party leader has made this request.
During his address at the Free National Movement's Englerston Constituency Association meeting Monday night, Prime Minister Minnis reminisced on growing up in the inner city of New Providence that included Englerston. He also reminded the residents of his government's commitment to make the inner city of New Providence a tax-free zone. The Prime Minister assured the constituents that Englerston is a part of the program's second phase.
There'll be no real property tax. There would be no business license fees. There would be no duty on equipment and material for construction of your home or expansion of your homes. During our campaign, we had said that we would remove VAT off bread basket item, and that we will do. That would happen with the new budget.
The Prime Minister also confirmed that the preparation for inner city tax-free zone legislation is almost complete, and he said the entire program will be presented during the budget communication in May.
We're preparing now what we call a white paper, at which time we would come into the communities, do walkabouts, and get your input into the direction you would want your country to go. And you would have your input as to how you want this particular zone to be developed. So no, Englerston is not excluded. You need an active association, just like all the other constituencies. And you will have the assistance of all the various members of parliaments and ministers. They will come down, because regardless to who is the representative for Englerston today, the point is you are a part of the Bahamas. And we are one family, and we are one Bahamas. There will be no discrimination. So Englerston is entitled to everything else just like everyone else.
The Progressive Liberal Party held a press conference this morning to address the suspension of the Member of Parliament for Englerston, Glenys Hannah Martin. She was named and suspended in the House of Assembly last Wednesday over comments that she made from the House chamber. PLP leader Philip Davis said he met with Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Hubert Minnis, Speaker of the House of Assembly Halston Moultrie, and Leader of Government Business in the House Renwood Wells on the matter, but it remains unresolved. Mr. Davis said the House Speaker was wrong to suspend Hannah Martin, and he maintains that the PLP fully supports the Member of Parliament for Englerston.
But it seems that both the PM yesterday and the Speaker yesterday announced positions publicly, and it appears that they are on a course to suspend Mrs. Hannah Martin, and we will stand with her if she is suspended and not return to the House or the Senate as long as she's out.
As the House of Assembly resumes tomorrow morning, Mr. Davis said Hannah Martin is expected to be in attendance, fully supported by her parliamentary colleagues.
I would expect her to be showing up. We will be showing up to the House, because the decision, if the decision is wrong, if it was a correct decision, we would not have been turning up. It's a wrong decision, and we hope that they will understand it's wrong, and we will turn up. But if we are not permitted to go in, then we'll take another course.
The newly elected Executive Board of the Free National Movement's Torchbearers Youth Association paid a courtesy call on Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Hubert Minnis at the office of the Prime Minister yesterday. The Executive Board offered ideas to continue to empower young people of the nation through entrepreneurship and opportunity. According to the FNM's website, the Torchbearers Youth Association was formed during the 1972 general elections when a group of young men were walking through the St. Agnes constituency campaigning on behalf of then leader Sir Cecil Wallace Whitfield. The goal of the association is to inspire growth in Bahamian youth by investing in their well-being through social development, education, and community outreach to enhance national development. Well, the government moving aggressively to select a company to manage the New Providence landfill. Press Secretary Anthony Newbold told reporters at his weekly press conference today that bids were sent out last week. The landfill continues to be an issue of ongoing concern as smoke emanating from the facility resulted in several schools closing here in New Providence yesterday. Mr. Newbold also disclosed that containment barriers have been installed at Clifton Pier to safeguard the environment in that area.
They've installed 640 feet of containment barrier down there at Clifton to deal with the oil spill situation down there. There's a special design system to prevent oil from seeping into the ocean.
The government is reviewing that pilot unification bus project started by the former administration to determine the feasibility of unifying the bus system here in New Providence. Minister of Transport and Local Government, the Honorable Frankie Campbell, says all has been done to ensure that the work was facilitated and the committee continues to move forward with the initiative.
My information is that hopefully as early as March, they will start in earnest to collect the data necessary to determine the feasibility of a unified bus system in New Providence. That aside, there are other works going on behind the scene to ensure that areas where there is no service will be come available, where there needs to be adjustment in bus stops, where bus stops need to be built, where roadsides need to be paved to allow for buses to pull over. All of those things are being addressed, where we need to review changes in directions of the streets, etc., to reduce clogging of the traffic. We're addressing all those things simultaneously.
Financial Secretary Marlon Johnson telling our news team yesterday that officials of the Ministry of Finance have received calls from the business community who wanted to learn more about the Prime Minister's recent announcement on the relaxation of business licenses. The Financial Secretary confirmed that the initiative comes into effect at the start of the new fiscal year in July.
If you're one of those businesses that qualify, that's where you'll get your business license exemption. However, your business license that was assessed for January of this year is still due. So we want to make sure businesses understand that they still have to go in and pay their business licenses fees, but the Prime Minister's commitment still stands, and that will come into effect during the new fiscal year. So by the time they get to their assessment for next year, then they will be subject to the relaxed provisions as far as not having to pay their business license fees. So we've gotten some questions on that, and I wanted to make sure that the public really have a clear understanding of how that is to be applied.
The Jamaica Gleaner newspaper in Kingston, Jamaica is reporting that a 32-year-old man said to be a construction worker of Nassau was shot and killed in the community of Westmoreland this week. The newspaper identified the victim as Kareem James. Reports state that James and a man were standing along Darling Street about yesterday when a car drove up with armed men. The report says the man opened gunfire on both of the victims. James died on the spot and the other man was taken to hospital, and Jamaican authorities said he's now listed in serious condition. A popular American television talk show promoting the Bahamas this week. We're just getting started on the Bahamas tonight, first at 6. Stay with us.
Happy birthday, Ariana. Happy birthday to you. What's this for?
I want to say some cake for you.
Ever since you guys moved to the Family Islands, I have missed so many birthdays.
Yes, Mommy. We gotta thank BTC for bringing the internet to our community.
You're right, honey. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Grammy. Say bye, Grammy.
With KFC's Family Deal, everything is under control. dad genius.
Enjoy our family deal with 8 pieces of freshly prepared chicken, large family fries, and 4 biscuits. All for just $20 including VAT. KFC Nassau. It's finger-licking good. Fanta, supporting the greatest expression of Bahamian culture. More than one flavor, still one family.
This portion of the news brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking.
Officials of the Sir Victor Sassoon Bahamas Heart Foundation fine-tuning preparations for the 54th annual Heart Ball. It's all set for next week Saturday at the Melia Nassau Inclusive Hotel in Cable Beach on February 17th. Now, the ball has been a staple on the society calendar since 1964. The Heart Foundation was created in 1961 to assist Bahamians with heart disease. To date, the foundation has helped thousands of Bahamian children with heart concerns, often providing life-saving surgery in order for them to lead full and rewarding lives. Well, joining us live tonight in studio with more information is Foundation member Yolanda Fernando. Good evening, Yolanda.
Good evening.
First of all, Yolanda, I just want you to give us some details on why Bahamians should attend this year's Heart Ball.
Well, we'd like you to come and support the Heart Foundation because, you know, the heart surgeries are very expensive for the children. And at this time, we have 3 waiting to go like yesterday. And they're over $250,000 so far. That's just the starting bill. So we're hoping that people will come out in abundance and support us so that we can make lots of money so that we can get this done as soon as possible.
Now, give us some details about the ball, ticket information, and what are some of the highlights that patrons who attend this ball can expect?
Well, if you attend the ball, it promises to be an awesome time. We have 3 bands. We have the Ed Bryce Orchestra for those people who want to waltz and, you know, have that elegant experience. And we also have the Soulful Groovers. That's a good dance band. Everybody know them. They've been around for a long time. They have experience in entertaining you. We also would have the Royal Bahamas Defense Force Band. They're a dance band. They'll be also entertaining us. And of course our DJ, the one and only Super Johnson, he's also going to be there to entertain you. You know, the tickets are $250. You can come to Eve's on West Bay Street. That's opposite the Swiss Bakery shop. And we have tickets and tables are still available. So come on down and support us.
Yolanda, have you found that a lot of Bahamians, especially corporate Bahamas, has been supporting the Heart Ball over the past years?
Yes, I must say the corporate Bahamas has been good in sponsoring us, and we appreciate it so much because we look forward to them every year coming out and supporting us. They send their staff members, you know, use the tickets as an incentive for them to attend the ball. And, you know, they come out, they buy raffle tickets, they be a part of the silent auction. So, you know, there's a lot to win. We have some awesome prizes as well.
Thanks so much, Yolanda. That's Yolanda Fernando. She's a member of the Sir Victor Sassoon Bahamas Heart Foundation, telling us more about the 2018 Heart Ball, all set for next week, Saturday, February 17th at the Melia Inclusive Resort in Cable Beach. Well, also making news first at 6, for the past 13 years, the Bahamas Conference of Seventh-day Adventists have been doing its part to ensure that its members, along with the Bahamian community, lead a more healthier lifestyle through its 8 Weeks to Wellness program. Under the theme, I Choose to Live Healthy, the program got underway with just over 100 participants at the former Bahamas Academy campus on Wolf Road. Pan American and World Health Organization's representatives here in the Bahamas, Dr. Esther de Gorville, was the guest speaker, and she stressed to the participants why programs like these are so important.
Learning about good nutrition, learning about the effect of exercise, and having a social structure, a supportive structure, can help people to make that lifestyle change. The challenge is to continue after the 8 weeks or the 9 weeks, and here's where people need to provide support for each other. But I think it's a start of a journey, and definitely if people have come out to participate, they're motivated to begin that journey for a variety of reasons. We heard from members of the audience who are already experiencing ill health, We've heard about a grandmother who's trying to help her grandchild who's already suffering from overweight and some signs of obesity to make that journey from a young age. I think these are all good things, and we should encourage each other to adopt these healthy lifestyle choices.
Well, participants have 9 weeks to engage in 2-hour sessions. Peter Joseph and Nathan LaCroix testified why the program's success is so important to their faith.
We do believe that the manifestation of our spiritual health must also be in our physical health. We do believe that if we're going to give God glory, right, what we eat, what we drink, we ought to do all of that to the glory of God.
Persons are realizing the importance of prevention. They don't want to be sick, you know. When God made us, the intent was for us to live forever. But of course that changed. But there are some little things that we can do for ourselves to keep ourselves well. We want to be able to walk to the grave.
Now to a story that's promoting our country. Viewers of Live with Kelly and Ryan enjoying their broadcast live from the Bahamas this week. The high energy show taking place at the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort, giving millions of viewers around the world many reasons why they should visit the Bahamas. It was an exciting experience for visitors soaking up the sun and some celebrity activity. And for Tourism's Director General Joy Jirbalu, who was energized for other reasons.
Atlantis have already indicated that they've seen 3 times more the level of interest for bookings and on their Facebook pages. Similarly, the same results on Bahamas.com, our Tourism Today website. We know that it's going to have a huge impact. In about a week's time, we're going to have all the value in terms of media spend. But as I said, it's probably already at least 10 times the value of what the investment would have been.
Show producer Michael Gelman says 4 Bahamas shows later, and the concept of airing live from the Bahamas hasn't gotten old.
And even doing certain things again, they're still great. I mean, what's not great about, you know, jumping in the water and, you know, scuba diving or snorkeling or, you know, swimming with the sharks. I mean, that's good. That'll be good in another 10 years too. But there's plenty to do, and I don't mind repeating ourselves.
That portion of the news was brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, the leader in personal banking services.
What does support look like? What does it sound like when you feel the pulse of a nation? When you make a difference in the lives of strong, principled, cultured people who are driven by hard work and passion. People who build communities where hospitality is warmly demonstrated, because this is the Bahamas. And we're happy to share our wealth. Commonwealth Bank, built by Bahamians, here for Bahamians. Bahamians helping Bahamians.
At Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center, we provide imaging services to meet all your family's needs. Same goes for imaging at Grosvenor. We're the imaging experts. We never schedule multiple appointments, so you'll be in and out in no time. And if your initial screening reveals a concern, our radiology specialist can consult your doctor and conduct an alternative screening right then and there. Results are ready within 24 hours. Call 328-8157 to schedule an appointment at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor today.
Influenza, or the flu as it is commonly called, is a viral illness that usually occurs between the months October to March. The virus is transmitted from person to person through coughing, sneezing, or talking. Symptoms include fever, cough, headache, runny nose, generalized body aches, and fatigue. There is no specific treatment for the flu, and the symptoms usually dissipate after 3 to 7 days. Because it is caused by a virus, antibiotics are not used to treat the flu. Persons are encouraged to rest and drink lots of fluids. Panadol is recommended for fever and body aches associated with the flu. However, aspirin should be avoided due to the risk of bleeding. To decrease the spread of flu, persons are encouraged to get their flu shot annually and practice good cough hygiene. Additional information can be provided by your community clinic or the Health Education Division at the Ministry of Health. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. The government secondary school's best of 3 basketball playoffs back on court yesterday at the AF Adderley Gym. The junior girls up first after taking game 1. The SC McPherson Sharks looking for the sweep, but the T.A. Thompson Scorpions wouldn't go away quietly. The Scorpions stay alive and even the series at 1-1 with a 30-21 Game 2 victory.
To win here, it means a lot to me because I think the first game that we played, we were a little antsy, we were excited. This is the first time that T.A. Thompson has been there in a long time in the playoffs, so the girls were a little bit overexcited, I would say. And so we settled down today and we played T.A. Thompson basketball.
Our girls just came out flat today. We just had to hit the boards. I told them that no one's going to give them anything. They have to work for everything they want, so they have to come out and play tomorrow. T.A. Thompson came out to play today, and that's what they did.
On to the junior boys now, and the C.H. Reeves Raptors didn't want a chance going the distance. They sweep the SC McPherson Sharks, taking game 2, 34-22.
They came out here and they did everything they're supposed to do. They executed everything from practice. They just went in there to give a hard fight, and just did what they had to do to get the victory.
You know, hats off to C.H. Reeves. They had young players too, but they played more poise and they played more control, and they made their layups, and that's why I think they win the game.
This was the scene at the AF Adderley Gym following the junior boys game. That's right, it was lights out, meaning the senior girls and senior boys games were pushed back. 2 high school basketball games played in Eleuthera yesterday. Central Eleuthera senior boys, they took care of Preston Albury 43-24. The situation much the same on the senior girls side. Central Eleuthera winning over Preston Albury 44-4. Back here in the capital, the New Providence Basketball Association, they have doubleheader action on tap tonight at the Donald Davis Gym. The Carroll Contracted Resistance and Breezes High Flyers play in the Division 2 opener. That's followed by Division 1 play between the PJ Stingers and the Commonwealth Bank Giants. From the NBA, Buddy Hield will participate in the Taco Bell Skills Challenge on February 17 during All-Star Weekend in LA. Buddy replaces Utah Jazz rookie guard Donovan Mitchell, who withdrew to replace Orlando Magic forward Eric Gordon in the slam dunk contest. Buddy is also playing in the Rising Stars game February 17th. He is the Sacramento Kings' top 3-point shooter and ranks 9th in the NBA this season at 43.2%. Now, after learning about that late yesterday, Buddy and the Kings, they came from behind to beat the Chicago Bulls 104-98. Buddy finishing up with 14 points. On to the college hardwood now. LaShawn Higgs, she played last night, 6 points, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Number 6 Texas, they won on the road over West Virginia, 73-55. Tonight, Lou Rawls, Tum Tum Nairn, and number 4 Michigan State, they're on the road at Iowa. The Camperdown Equestrian Center, that came alive over the weekend with their semi-annual show and interschool competition. The young riders gave it all they had.
Actually, the best part was when everybody started cheering, like, "Go Riley, go!" I'm like, yes, I can do this. There was a really hard turn in our course, and when I made the turn, everyone's like, "Go Sam, go make the turn, you did it!" That was my first horse show, and I had 2 first place. I got first place in walk and second place in trot. I got this one, I got in my medal class, and I got my 2 and my 2 seconds in my jumping.
With the BAISS Basketball Championships finishing up last Friday, it's straight into the private school soccer season this week. Yesterday, Sacs Big Red Machine getting off to a winning start in the senior boys division. They shut out the Kingsway Academy Saints 11-0. The City Bowling League with competition last night at Mario's. Carib Construction, they got a sweep over Telco Enterprises. The CDM Knights also blanking the 10-back Strikers. Gigatech picking up a 2-1 win over the NUA Crusaders. The Assure-Win Pocket Policers, they scored a 2-1 win of their own over the BEC Shockers. Clayton Gardner Associates, they won 2-1 over the Avengers. The City Leaguers, they won 2-1 as well over the Brooklyn Strikers. Checkers Cafe and the Island Game Strikers, they also scored 2-1 wins as well there, taking care of the ENU Water Coolers and the Bahamas Air Flyers, respectively. And that is your first look at sports. Don't go anywhere. First at 6 is back after the break.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center.
What you see and hear on this television station is governed by IRCA's Code of Practice for Content Regulation. The Code of Practice covers matters relating to program content that are of concern to the community, such as local content, news, current affairs, programs for children, advertising, including political advertisements, and the responsibilities associated with broadcasting in the Bahamas. The Code also covers aspects such as access services for the hearing and visually impaired, and the procedure for lodging a complaint about anything broadcast by this station. The code is available on the IRCA website at www.ircabahamas.bs. To receive a copy of the code by mail or in person, you may telephone IRCA at 242-393-0234. Family Island dialing is toll-free at 1-242-300-8722. Or you may send a request by email to info@ircabahamas.bs.
Now you can watch the ZNS network of channels absolutely free. That's right, ZNS is now broadcasting 3 separate channels, free to air on Channel 13. One channel has the regular ZNS TV HD programming. One is the Parliamentary channel, and one is the 24/7 television community page. These channels may be accessed simply by attaching either a rabbit ears antenna or an indoor amplified antenna to the RF input connector on the back of your digital television or flat screen TV. Once the antenna is connected, select TV mode and choose Auto Scan, and your TV will automatically pick up Channel 13 at no charge. Once you're on Channel 13, just use the channel selector to go to each of the 3 ZNS free channels. Antennas are available on many sites online. Free TV, ZNS brings it back to you.
In news from the region, residents of the St. Andrew Northwestern constituency in Jamaica will go to the polls next month to choose a replacement for the Jamaica Labour Party's Derek Smith, who resigned as the area's representative last month. Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced yesterday at a Jamaica Labour Party meeting that Election Day is March 5th and Nomination Day is this Monday, February 12th. The two hoping to fill the vacancy left by Smith's departure after almost 3 decades as an MP are the JLP's Dr. Nigel Clark, who serves on the government's Economic Growth Council, and the main opposition People's National Party's Keisha Hale, who is a primary school principal. An American Airlines flight was forced to make an emergency landing in Bermuda yesterday after a possible fire in the cargo hold. The flight, which was headed from New York to Brazil with 201 passengers, landed at the LF Wade International Airport at 12:42 a.m. 10 fire vehicles and 12 firefighters from the Bermuda Fire and Rescue Service met the aircraft and it was evacuated. However, no fire was found and no one was injured. And the day-to-day running of the tiny Dutch Caribbean territory of St. Eustatius is being taken over by the Netherlands government after a committee that investigated the state of the island pointed to corruption and a gross neglect of duties there. As a result of the decision, the island's governing body, the Island Council, will be dissolved and the deputies and acting lieutenant governor relieved of their duties. In their place, a government commissioner will be appointed to be in charge of the administration of the island until its council is able to perform these duties properly once again.
Time now for weather.
In our first look at weather, that front boundary across the central Bahamas is expected to dissipate through tomorrow. Meanwhile, that high pressure continues to hold across the islands, generating some moderate to fresh breezes, which will continue through tomorrow. But outside of our studios right now, we have partly sunny skies, temperature 82 degrees, your relative humidity 65%, winds are out of the northeast at 12 knots, your barometric pressure of 1,023.1 millibars, that's 30.25 inches, and it is steady. That's going to do it for your first look at weather at 6. Stay tuned, more weather is still to come.
Thanks so much, Basil. That does it for First at 6. It's time now for a check on stories making news around the Northern Bahamas.
Hoping to change the healthcare arena, clarification of the seafood export issue, and a student of Walter Parker Primary, is one of the best spellers on Grand's Bahama.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Megan Shepard. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping the news tonight, the conversation on the decriminalization of marijuana is gaining more traction. The nation's Attorney General, Carl Bethel, says that due to the proximity of this nation to the United States, there are no plans to legalize marijuana here in the Bahamas, while it is still criminalized by the U.S. federal government. In this report, a Bahamian who is now having major success in the medical marijuana field in the United States shares his experience and views on how legalization can help Bahamians. CEO and founder of Proper RX Collective, a medical marijuana delivery service located in California, Elliot Hepburn, is looking to help change the healthcare arena in the Bahamas. Hepburn says that his fight is about bringing options to the Bahamas that he sees available to his clients in the United States.
I get a lot of calls from here, emails and direct messages from mothers who are in a situation where they're trying to do what's best for their kids, be it autism or epilepsy. No mother wants to deal with that, and when they know that there are options elsewhere, that creates somewhat of a burden on them. And I'm trying to prevent them from being in situations like that, continuously advocating for their rights and for the rights of their young ones.
Hepburn says that he caters to patients with a number of ailments, including cancer, epilepsy, autism, and HIV/AIDS. While the current conversation surrounding medical marijuana focuses on the smoking aspect, Hepburn says that there are a number of options that can provide tremendous benefit to patients.
People take daily synthetic meds, painkillers for a headache here and there. Women take a whole host of different painkillers and stuff during their monthlies. All of those things are bad on the kidneys. So with the options being that they are, I just want to make sure that they don't have to do it. It can be a soak, it can be a topical. The whole conversation isn't about smoking. A lot of focus is on smoking, but that's just one of the applications of the medicine. There are many applications for it that don't involve you lighting anything and smoking anything.
Talk about some of those options.
Edibles, tinctures, tonics, all of those are beneficial. All of those, like for a cancer patient, I wouldn't encourage a cancer patient to smoke. I don't sell them smokable products. We sell them stuff that are edible and that will be more focused on their specifics.
As the debate continues here in the Bahamas, he says he wants to be a part of the conversation that will shed light on the many benefits of medical marijuana. The industry is already a multi-billion-dollar industry and is only projected to continue to grow in the years to come. And when it comes to the local potential,
endless. Especially if we were to allow something like medical into the Bahamas and also have a system of reciprocity where we recognize doctors' recommendations from different countries or different states, then I think the cannabis tourism will be huge in the Bahamas. People already expect that when they come to the Caribbean, but now we could actually turn it into an industry on the medicinal side, still on the medicinal side, because you have patients that travel. And when they travel, they need their meds when they go to other countries. So I think that could be a huge benefit. And just to commerce, it's a global economy now, and this is a global industry. Companies on the stock market, companies trading around the world, public companies. We need to have our shot at all of those things.
Proper RX was established in 2010. Greater clarity tonight on the issue of seafood export by locals and by United States visitors. As Italia Hall tells us, concerns are developing regarding deep-sea fishing as well.
That there's more than enough supply in the country.
The Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Renwood Wells, says, based on the current relationship that exists between the Bahamas and the United States, U.S. citizens who fish in Bahamian waters can take 6 conchs, 10 crawfish, or 60 pounds of fish back to the United States. He says regulations are in place for Bahamian citizens as well when they are traveling to the United States, but it is a bit different.
The restrictions are supposed to be the same, but again, from what I've seen from the Customs Department of the United States, if it's just a Bahamian going back to school and it's frozen 20 or 30 conch and they going back to carry it, they sort of just, the understanding is, well, you're Bahamian, you're taking it for, so they allow you to be able to take that to wherever it is that you're going.
But the minister admits that there is a problem when it comes to foreigners fishing in Bahamian waters for large fish, also known as pelagic fish. He says he's working to fix that issue soon.
We do have persons who fly in, and the current regulation says that they can carry out 18 pelagic species at any one point in time. Now, what are pelagic species? Bluefin tuna, yellowfin tuna, the blackfin tuna, the wahoo, the swordfish, dolphins, mahi-mahi, those kinds of things, mahi-mahi, dolphins. Those fish fetch a very high price. You take, for instance, we're allowing someone who comes in and says, I'm a sports fisherman. I can carry out 18 bluefin tuna. Bluefin tuna goes anywhere from $15,000. The last one was sold for, I think, the highest price ever fetched was over $100,000.
He says the goal is to reduce the number of pelagic fish that can be taken out of the country.
It is my desire for the Bahamian people to get into the export of pelagic species. I've said this now over the course of my entire political career. And until this happens, I'm going to keep singing. Bahamians only fishing in the shallows. And we're going after lobster because it's easily caught and it fetches the highest price. But we're shortchanging ourselves. And so I'm looking for ways that when the lobster season is closed, that the Bahamians will be able to get out into our ocean and harvest the resources.
Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Natalia Hall.
In other news, Grand Bahamas' newest tourist attraction is expected to make the destination more marketable. The $1 million all-Bahamian investment is unfolding just as the government moves closer to sealing the deal for the sale of the island's anchor property. Sabrina Brown reports.
The investors in this zip line.
Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Peter Turnquest, is satisfied that Grand Bahama's economy is turning around, and he says investments like Pirates Cove zipline and water park will help to put this island on a path to sustainable growth.
We are here today to celebrate the fact that Grand Bahama and its tourism infrastructure is indeed alive. It indeed is a good place to invest, and it is a place where a decent, healthy, profitable return can be made.
He commended the Bahamian investors for filling a void in the tourism sector and for taking ownership of their economy.
One of the things that we know that we have lacked in this country, and particularly here in Grand Bahama, is touristic experiences for our guests. This is about going out into the world, looking at the experiences that exist, and coming back home and applying what you've learned to create an indigenous experience.
President of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Ian Roll, says Pirates Cove will not only attract visitors to the island, but also Bahamians looking for a fun vacation experience.
That same money one would spend to buy a plane ticket, travel, rent a car, and drive for hours to go to Disneyland can now be spent right here. Buying local. Buying local, shopping local, and now entertaining in a big way locally.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition continues in just a moment.
Portion of the news is brought to you by Dolly Madison, Freeport's original home center.
Come on down now
to the Plant Nursery at Dolly Madison for Dieffenbachia, mums, bromeliads, passion,
corn plants,
fire, anthuriums, valentine,
hydrangeas,
romance, begonias, spectacular, ferns, ornamental, ficus, palms, and the most spectacular selection of roses on the island. Guaranteed to heighten the spark of romance in your life. Dolly's got all the favorites that are sure to make this Valentine's extra special.
Come on down now.
Welcome to Jags International. We have Celebration, Valeria, FRS, Bahamas Air, Hotel, car vouchers now on sale.
Girls, I tried book my ticket online with them ferry them. So complicated, they asking for too much.
That's why I stick with Jags. No agency fees or booking fees. Cash and credit, all the same. Blow deals and spectacular services with a smile.
Yes, that's Jags, your one-stop shop to Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, and Miami.
We even offer cheap car rental vouchers, dollar, thrifty, Hertz, and VIP service.
Book now with Jags and get their $5 discount card. And don't forget the super sales going on.
No ordinary meals are served here. It's all truly Bahamian favorites at Miss Nat's. We're serving breakfast and lunch specials daily, like Miss Nat's famous pea soup and dough, group of fingers, cracked lobster, cock and chicken, fried, barbecued, hot and spicy wings. Try them all at Miss Nat's. Fantastic food, great service, new location.
Saturday at 8:10 a.m. would like to be a part of your love story. Tell us how you met your Valentine. Whether married for 18 weeks, 18 months, 18 years, or 80 years, ZNS 8:10 a.m. wants to hear your love story. From how you met, to who made the first move, to what makes your relationship special. Call us and share your love story at hashtag Share Your Love Story at ZNS 3810 AM, The Light, or 810 AM Radio Request Line, 352-3984 or 352-3985.
Covering the Northern Bahamas, you're watching the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Hundreds of high school students attending this year's TEDx Youth at Grand Bahama at the Regency Theater. The platform allows young people to present their ideas and discuss pertinent issues. Co-organizer Katarla Taylor.
Because of the committee, they're learning on every level. They're learning how to organize events, how to work with one another. They are doing something for them. Their audience is their peers, and so they're designing with that in mind. And more importantly, like I said, TED is about ideas worth spreading. Usually they are in the position of having to listen to what everyone else says, but this is their opportunity to speak, and not only to the students in the room, but to the world, because in a few weeks, all of these videos will be posted to the global TEDx Youth platform, which has a few 100,000 subscribers on Facebook.
The students were mentored by a group of advisors. They spoke on topics such as creating a junior form of government, self-motivation, the power of distraction, and the seriousness of mental disorders.
We can do just as much as the seniors, and that we are just as intelligent enough to speak and work in our government.
Mental disorders are a serious thing. They're not just something that people make fun of, because in today's time we don't understand what they are.
The adult committee was really there, just pushing the students along, getting them to do fundraisers and plan, and what speakers do we want? Do we want some adults? Do we want some kids? And kind of just pumping them up, pushing them along the way so that they get that experience that planning something of this magnitude is all about.
A student of the Walter Parker Primary School will represent Grand Bahama at the upcoming National Spelling Bee in the nation's capital. The young boy beat out several students for the Best Speller Award for the Western District. Tonight, the youngster shares his determination to win and passion for spelling.
Faulty, F-A-U-L-T-Y, faulty. And when I spelled it, everyone started clapping and I was in awe.
Sixth grade student at Walter Parker Primary School, D'Amico Johnson Jr., is now Grand Bahama's new Spelling Bee champion for the Western District. He says he was determined to study hard and take home the title.
Every time I would study the pronunciation, I would look at the definition, and I would try it out in a sentence, and then I'd say the word, spell it, and then say the word again.
D'Amico is grateful to his parents and coaches for their support and for pushing him to realize his goal. He says it all paid off on competition day.
At first, it was nerve-wracking, but then I didn't feel afraid. But every time I would spell a word or I was about to go up, my mouth would get a little dry. And I didn't know if we had to be on break to drink the water. So when we got a break, I drank a lot of the water.
Both of his coaches, Nicole Watkin and Margot Lockhart, say that D'Amico is a very hard-working student, and once he continues to pursue his goals, they know he will succeed.
He is consistent and he enjoys spelling. He is also very articulate. Even when I mispronounce the words, he would probably laugh. Miss Watkin, that's not the way how you pronounce the word. So he would actually pronounce some of the words for me. And I believe that D'Amico is an eagle, and the sky is the limit for him.
He's self-motivated, and he is eager to do everything that he sets his mind out to do. He does it well. And in preparing for Nassau, we're doing some extra studying, lunchtime, after school as usual, and probably on the weekends.
As he prepares for the national competition in New Providence, D'Amico says he is already putting positive thoughts into the atmosphere, and he's feeling confident.
Whenever I have to do something in the future, I always try to predict how the surroundings might be so I can adjust to it. And I think it's March 18th.
How do you feel going into the national competition with everyone else?
I feel happy, a little nervous, but mostly happy.
D'Amico was declared the winner after 13 rounds of competition. His winning word, faulty. The Grand Bahama Junkanoo Committee is hoping to pull off a successful Junior Junkanoo Parade this weekend. 25 schools are participating from East End to West End. And as for the 8 Mile Rock High School, well, they say they're coming to win. Italia Hall has the story.
The Blue Jays are gearing up for the annual Junior Junkanoo Parade. The girls are busy putting the finishing touches on their costumes and practicing their unique dance moves for the big show. Junkanoo Committee member Katora Munro says the theme this year is the beauty of nature.
For our Pride Month, we wanted the students to embrace nature along with just having pride. So we're in addition, we have a speech competition that's coming up for Pride Month that we are trying to encourage them to just embrace nature, embrace their community, everything we're trying to put towards pride.
Munro says during the lunch period every day, they all find time to work on their Junkanoo pieces.
At lunchtime, we are here consistently working. Because of the delay, the students became a bit discouraged, but we're trying at this point at the home stretch, we're trying to pep them up, get them ready for Saturday.
And she says this time around the Blue Jays are coming for the #1 spot.
Know that we are coming to take that title that we rightly deserve back.
And if you want to see more of these lovely costumes,
we don't want to put everything out there. So Saturday we're encouraging everyone in the community, wide and near and far, to come out and support the 8 Mile Rock High School in this year's Junior Junkanoo.
It's Halia Hall, ZNS Network News.
And now it is time to Ask the Doctor.
This is Ask the Doctor. Sam from NASA asked, is the flu shot safe? Thank you for a great question, Sam. The flu shot is actually a vaccination that often protects you from getting the flu, and while it may not give you total protection, it is well worth getting. Influenza is a respiratory infection that can cause serious complications, particularly to young children, older adults, and people with certain medical conditions. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, also called the CDC, recommends that everyone 6 months of age or older be vaccinated annually against influenza. Vaccination is especially important for people at high risk of influenza complications, including pregnant women, older adults, and young children. Chronic medical conditions can also increase your risk of influenza complications. So persons suffering from asthma, cancer, or receiving cancer treatment, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, cystic fibrosis, diabetes, obesity, HIV or AIDS, and kidney or liver disease should be vaccinated. If you have questions concerning the flu vaccine, please email askthedoctorbahamas@gmail.com. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
Stay with us to check on sports is up next with Ricardo Lightbourne.
Freeport, just what you've been waiting for, the newest men's fashion store at No. 1 Britannia Mini Mall, Caravel Beach, Hustle Men's Fashion.
H. Forbes Charter Services Limited, Grand Bahama's oldest and largest ground transportation operator, specializing in a wide range of services, including transfers, tours, VIP handling, and destination management. Our services are rendered in luxury limousines and coach buses. Take a fun tour of the island on our state-of-the-art party bus or hop on board one of our new double-decker buses. Whatever mood you're trying to create, H. Forbes Charter can cater to your needs. With our highly trained professional chauffeurs, we also specialize in large group movements. H. Forbes Charter Services Limited is the proud winner of the prestigious CASIC Award for Excellence in Transportation and also the recipient of the Delta Vacation Quality Assurance Award for the second consecutive year. The international award recognizes companies in the industry for outstanding quality service.
It's Sports Time, everybody. I'm Ricardo Lightbourne. Let me tell you, Edwina Williamson, Barnett Lang, Renee Grant, and yeah, they are celebrating. Even Van Dyke Hepburn, who crashed in the party, leave it right where it is. Well, the Bahama Bay Resort in West End is hosting the first Bahama Beach skydiving event, and today was interesting in the West. Called the Bahama Bash skydiving event at the Old Bahama Bay in West End. Over 60 licensed skydivers and aviation enthusiasts are participating in this event. The skydivers have to pack their own parachutes and do it very carefully. Sky is the Limit, based out of Pennsylvania, is organizing the event. Jay Vaneldal is also the guy who's in charge of everything and says they've been here since Friday.
What we're doing here is just basically having an event where we're all coming in and jumping together. So we brought in 4 organizers from around the world that specialize in skydiving. I myself was here for free flying and XRW, and we're just jumping over the beautiful Bahamas.
The event features skydivers jumping from 14,000 feet daily between the hours of 10 a.m. and 5 p.m., taking off from the West International Airport. As for safety, Jay?
Obviously, there's always a little bit of risk involved if you are jumping out of the plane, but we take every precaution, make it as safe as possible. Our instructors, have thousands of jumps as well. So airplane, top-notch airplane.
Jackie Carroll was all smiles as the staff of Old Bahama Bay welcomed the skydivers.
We are so excited. We've been working with this group for a couple of months now. They were originally scheduled to go to Puerto Rico, and we were able to convince them after the storm destroyed the area where they were going to jump from that it was a good idea to give us a try here. And we did a lot of preparation, and now we're excited that they're all here and they're all having a wonderful time.
Jumping from the aircraft at 14,000 feet today over West End, and also a safe landing for Cheryl Boner was special.
It was an 8-way dive, and we did a great exit, and we got together and turned some points, and it was awesome.
What do you think about diving here in the Bahamas?
Oh, it's awesome. Couldn't ask for a better place. It's always sunny, and there's beautiful scenery, and the people are awesome. Thank you so much for your hospitality.
Craig McNulty had a heck of a jump as well. Even the mustache stayed on all the way down.
It was so beautiful. Just all blue sky, blue ocean, amazing landscape. Couldn't ask for more.
There's also tandem skydiving for a resident if you're interested. Jackie Carroll is jumping tomorrow. Go Jackie! And I'm going to let Megan jump in my place tomorrow. Let's go down to baseball. Grandmama Little League from the weekend, folks. The Camacho Auto Bucks over the Powerade Lions 15-1 in the Coach Pitcher Fair. And the minor game, it was the MSC Shippers. They stopped the GB Port Authority Lions 17-2. LaShawn Cooper got the win. And also Philando Williams went the distance. The Freeport Container Port Bucks defeated the BTC Predators 9-4 in the major game. It was the Polymers Lions came away with a 7-5 win over the Buccaneers Red. Now, get this. Prince Thompson also had a good win as well. He got the win. And the Junior League board, it was the Playtime Sports Buccaneers over the Stade Lions 6-3. Courtney Meadows got the win in the big game. FES Construction Predators over Piranha 6-4. My good friend Cameron Meadows, he got the win in that one as well. Well, if you didn't know, Super Bowl Sunday was the last official day of the football season. And yes, nobody around here wore their jersey except for Wayne. Let me tell you, it was fun on Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday outside Summerhill, it was get your space early. Ali Campbell, Lofton Claude, and over the bridge ready. Inside Summerhill was rocking. Football fans accounted for. I guess you know who this guy is pulling for. New England Patriots fans are accounted for and ready to rumble. These guys, Boozy and Bethel, the last time they're going to wear those jerseys. Well, let me tell you, the gals have reason to boast. The Eagles and Pats, they're going to be taking center stage. Yeah, not only Super Bowl Sunday, this is when you wear your colors, guys and gals. The coin toss, just a formality for the teams. The girls having a blast on Super Bowl Sunday. Let's take a hop over to Reese's Place and take in the party like no other. Hey, that's Cody in a Bills jersey. Older than him, Jim Kelly. Come on, man. Super Bowl Sunday's tradition. And also the fans at Reese's kept it alive. Gotta have those treats, right? Well, let's head north now to Chances on Logwood Road. And the football fans there talking some smack on Sunday. Sanford pulling for Philly. You kidding, right? The Eagles fan base is pretty high at Chances. Okay, let me see. That's Sherry, Patriot, hairdo. Work on Monday, bad knees. Last football game of the season, guys. And guess what? Trash talking to boot. Okay, Brother Green, the game is 4 quarters, so keep the faith. Here's Clement C.C. Campbell, Steelers fan, still ranting and raving about the Patriots who stole their game. Is he a receiver or is he a runner? I feel you, C.C. The fans over the Players Lounge had a front row seat. 41-33, Philadelphia Eagles are your NFL Super Bowl champions, and no football until September. Okay, put the jerseys up, guys. Make sure they're in mothballs. Yep, I put up my football jersey until September, and I'm hurting. Sandra, let me tell you, you're celebrating tonight, eh? That's Bubba's mama. Sandra Stewart, congratulations. I'm out of here. We'll be right back.
Freeport has 2 large one-topping pizzas for just $21.99 at both locations. And delivery, carry-out, and dine-in options are available. Don't wait. Stop by or phone in your order now. On the mall, call 352-9191 on East Sunrise Highway, 373-8500. 2 large one-topping pizzas for just $21.99, VAT inclusive, at Pizza Hut Freeport. Make it great!
The Ministry of Health wishes to advise members of the public that prevention is key during this flu season. Practicing good cough hygiene can make the difference between you and your loved ones getting the flu or spreading the influenza virus. Good cough hygiene habits include covering your mouth and nose with a tissue when coughing or sneezing, and proper disposal of the tissue in a trash bin. Coughing or sneezing into your upper sleeve near your inner elbow and not your hands when a tissue is not available. Avoiding the use of handkerchiefs and towels as they hold germs, becoming a nest for the virus. And frequently washing your hands with soap and water, which is listed as one of the most important steps you can take to avoid getting sick and passing the virus on to others. If you have any questions about how to practice good cough hygiene to avoid catching or spreading the flu, contact your nearest community clinic or the Health Education Division at the Ministry of Health. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
Okay, you have the perfect match coming up.
Perfect match, yep.
So all y'all need to get involved.
Get involved and find the love of your life.
Get them all. We have Natalie, Megan, Talia, Kimberly, Allison, Treedy, Liz, Grant. Want me to keep going?
First of all, be sure to call into Power 104.5. Come by the office, pick up an application, sign up. You won't date any of us, but come by and sign up. I'm Megan Shepherd. The Bombers Tonight. Continue.
Coming up in the National Report, the process to regularize shanty towns is in full effect across this country. Hear what the Labor Minister has to say on the issue. Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Hubert Minnis encouraging Engliston residents to join the governing party. And Live with Kelly and Ryan takes the Bahamas by storm. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts right now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Every Day.
The government is moving to regularize shanty towns throughout this country. Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis. Shanty towns and their impact on the community once again sparking review at a high level. A committee is in place to assess these areas of the country and bring about change. Carla Palmer talked to the Labor Minister who is spearheading that committee.
Minister of Labor, the Honorable Dion Folks, says he will chair that appointed committee of some 30 persons tasked with regularizing shanty towns here in the Bahamas. He says a 3-page action plan has already been formulated.
I wish to assure the public that we have the political will to do this. The Prime Minister has given my committee and myself as chairman firm instructions. We have a timeline and a timetable. We have a consultative process, and we are consulting every element of persons and groups, including international groups, because we have some international covenants that we must comply with. So we want to make sure complete all of the consultation process first before we speak to the public in details about what we're doing.
The Labor Minister says the government is making a concerted effort to exercise due diligence in ensuring the process is fair and just.
We hope that we'll be able to do this in a humane fashion, in a sensitive fashion. There are a lot of children who live in these shanty towns, and we have to be very sensitive to that. Most of them are in schools. Most of the residents who live there are working. A large section of them are actually Bahamian citizens, either been naturalized Bahamians or who married Bahamians and have rights to be here. A lot of the residents have work permits. There is a section of the residents in the shanty towns who are illegal, and we intend to let them go through the process and have them deported. There's also a small criminal element in some of the bigger shanty towns, and we are doing our due diligence to ensure that that is dealt with.
According to Minister Folks, he and his committee members have already begun the groundwork of assessment, visiting some 80 shanty towns here in New Providence.
And I know that the public is very concerned about the condition of these shanty towns. In New Providence, we have 11. We also have some in Grand Bahama, 3 big ones and 2 small ones. We have some in North Eleuthera in particular. We also have some in North Andros and Abaco. But we are determined to do this properly. We're not going to be rushed. We know there's a lot of pressure, and we know Bahamians are concerned. There are a lot of health issues involved.
Minister Folks says all of the shanty towns in the Bahamas, to his knowledge, the land is either owned and fee simple by Bahamians, or Bahamians have the lease approval to govern those lands. He says rents are being collected in all the shanty towns, mainly by Bahamians. Minister Folks says the committee will continue to visit the shanty towns before public consultations begin. Carla Palmer, ZNS Network News.
We have an update tonight on that fire in the mud community in Abaco last weekend. Already one person has been charged before the courts in connection with that blaze, where 170 residents were displaced. Following the fire, a shelter was provided for the victims, and we're told that the majority of them are now being accommodated by family and friends. We talked to Administrator Maxine Duncombe.
What has happened is that initially we had about 26 persons who were in the shelter, and the remaining persons who were affected, they were reabsorbed really with family and friends in the community. As of today, I'm advised that we have a family of 11, or a total of 11 persons who are now in the shelter.
The administrator also commented on the current atmosphere at the mud.
Well, the mood in the community is that the persons who are affected, they really need to find somewhere to be. But as you rightly said, there is not going to be any building in the affected area, in the mud area. I believe right now we are in the process of cleaning that area and cordon that area off. But as you know, social services is there for persons who need to find somewhere to stay in terms of rental accommodations. They should be able to get that kind of assistance from social services. I believe that we are now heading to some degree of normalcy. I think we have now managed the crisis, and we're now heading to some degree of normalcy.
There could be some changes in the law regarding the rights of persons born here in the Bahamas. Attorney General Carl Bethel says that no adjustments will be made until the Court of Appeal makes its ruling on the Ronnie Jean Charles case. He indicated that those changes could hinge heavily on the court's ruling.
In this particular matter, we feel that the case is very clear, but there are several issues that the Court of Appeal's opinion, when given, will be very helpful as we look towards the drafting of laws to cover what is an obvious lacuna in the law. That's a legal term to mean a gap in the law. The law provides certain rights for persons born in the Bahamas, provided they could show that they are the person named in the birth certificate, which is a situation that Mr. Roney has not quite been able to do.
The Attorney General speaks further on the legislative plan following the court's hearing.
They may either possess at the time or they may apply for. Certainly, once the Court of Appeal will have dealt with this particular matter, we will factor in the court's view of how things should occur under the existing law, and we will follow that. But we reserve the right as a sovereign government and a sovereign legislature, if we are not satisfied that the present legal situation adequately protects the Bahamian people or adequately addresses in an appropriate manner how persons in that situation ought to be treated and what rights they have, we reserve the right to go back to the legislature and have the legislature affirmatively clarify the position.
The Free National Movement encouraging residents of the Angliston constituency to join the party. The FNM leader and Prime Minister pitched the idea during a constituency meeting last evening. Altavis Munnings reports.
It's a call he made during last year's general election campaign. And Free National Movement leader, Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Hubert Minnis, is again in general election mode.
The campaign starts tonight to bring Angliston home. Will you join us the next election?
During his address at the Free National Movement's Angliston Constituency Association meeting Monday night, Prime Minister Minnis reminisced on growing up in the inner city of New Providence that included Angliston. He also reminded the residents of his government's commitment to make the inner city of New Providence a tax-free zone. The Prime Minister assured the constituents that Angliston is a part of the program's second phase.
There'll be no real property tax. There would be no business license fees. There would be no duty on equipment and material for construction of your home or expansion of your homes. During our campaign, we had said that we would remove VAT off bread basket item, and that we will do. That would happen with the new budget.
The Prime Minister also confirmed that the preparation for inner city tax-free zone legislation is almost complete, and he said the entire program will be presented during the budget communication in May.
We're preparing now what we call a white paper, at which time we would come into the communities, do walkabouts, and get your input into the direction you would want your country to go. And you would have your input as to how you want this particular zone to be developed. So no, Angliston is not excluded.
Questions and concerns on issues like employment, road work, and improving the livelihood of this area of New Providence were posed to the Prime Minister by Angliston residents. Meanwhile, Free National Movement Chairman Carl Culmer informed our news team that the Anglo-Saxon Association meeting was planned over 2 weeks ago. He revealed that Constituency Association elections should take place by April in order to fully engineer the Free National Movement's machinery in this part of New Providence.
We see the potential in Anglo-Saxon. We see the people that can help to move the Bahamas and work with the FNM to take us where we need to go. So the whole idea is to get Anglo-Saxon up and running. And once we get it up and running, then we can move from there. We're going to be working all the constituencies straight through until 2022. We want to make sure that we deliver on our promises to the Bahamian people.
Regardless to who is the representative for Anglo-Saxon today, the point is you are a part of the Bahamas. And we are one family and we are one Bahamas. There will be no discrimination.
Altaviz Munnings, ZNS Network News.
Will a suspended Angliston MP Glenys Hannah Martin show up to the House of Assembly tomorrow? Well, today the Progressive Liberal Party held a press conference to address the matter. House Speaker the Honorable Holson Moultrie named and suspended Hannah Martin last Wednesday after asking her to take her seat. However, the MP walked out of the House, prompting him to suspend her indefinitely. This is the second time that Hannah Martin was named and suspended. The first was under the previous FNM administration. Opposition leader Philip Davis says he met with the Prime Minister, government leader in the chamber, and the House Speaker, but the matter remains unresolved. He says Hannah Martin is supported by her parliamentary colleagues.
I would expect her to be showing up. We will be showing up to the House. Because the decision, if the decision is wrong, if it was a correct decision, we would not have been turning up. It's a wrong decision, and we hope that they will understand it's wrong, and we will turn up. But if we are not permitted to go in, then we'll take another course.
Free National Movement Chairman Carl Culmer issued a statement on the impact of the Financial Transactions Reporting Bill and the proceeds of the crime bill to the economy and safety of this country. He says the pieces of legislation will work hand in hand with the rest of the anti-corruption measures the FNM government have enacted. The FNM chairman says the two pieces of legislation will ensure that those who wish to come to the Bahamas with ill intent and abuse financial institutions to hide ill-gotten gains will not be welcomed, while also showing rightful investors around the world that the Bahamas is truly open for business. Culmer says the legislation also moves the country one step closer towards putting an end to corruption. The FNM chairman noted that the people sent a message loud and clear last election, and the FNM leaders responded by delivering a transparent government that serves the people, not themselves. He says the FNM has taken great steps in the right direction in 9 months, but it will take some time to remove all of the hurdles that the PLP government put in place. He says the country is getting better and better under the FNM government, and they are just at the beginning. And still to come, hear firsthand about this boat captain's ordeal at sea for almost 2 weeks. And coming up in sports, the best of 3 games in government schools basketball action. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report.
This portion of the news is brought to you by the new Shell and Leaded, designed for extra miles.
Commonwealth Bank MasterCard and SunCard MasterCard, the perfect team.
Using my Commonwealth Bank MasterCard is so easy. It's accepted around the corner and around the world.
Commonwealth Bank SunCard MasterCard lets you buy something Bahamian with something Bahamian. SunCard MasterCard will be accepted wherever you see the MasterCard logo throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Local bank, local card, local purchases. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Every day you wake up with the world in the palm of your hand. Making connections and creating memories and sharing them with the people you care about. Every day the world is at your fingertips, and you can experience every blockbuster movie in stunning HD and top 100 Billboard music hit with the touch of a button. Every day, your family and friends are important to you, and staying in touch no matter where you are in the Bahamas or the world is your #1 priority. And that's why, every day for over 100 years, BTC has been there to ensure that every Bahamian has the best connection to the world. We cover every island, rock and key, regardless of the cost. This is BTC Country.
With KFC's Family Deal, everything is under control.
Dad genius.
Enjoy our family deal with 8 pieces of freshly prepared chicken, large family fries, and 4 biscuits. All for just $20 including VAT. KFC Nassau. It's finger-licking good.
This is what Christmas looks like when you have a Bank of the Bahamas Christmas Club account that gives you higher interest than any other bank. And this is what Christmas looks like without a Bank of the Bahamas Christmas Club account. Which type of Christmas do you prefer? We thought so. Open a Bank of the Bahamas Christmas Club account before June 30th and get more merry for your money.
Ho, 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 ho! Merry Christmas!
Only at your Bank of Solutions.
This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
The rules and regulations governing the taxi cab industry are being reviewed and strengthened, that according to Transport Minister, the Honorable Frankie Campbell. Campbell says since coming to office, he's engaged in dialogue with all stakeholders, and agreements made, he said, will be honored.
Many of them call for some legislative amendments or for some changes in the regulations, and so those matters are in fact being addressed. And I can assure you that in short order, you will see the manifestation of some of those agreements. Let me say that in my interaction with public service drivers, taxi drivers, jitney drivers, I've found that the broad brush with which they are all painted is not necessarily fair. I must admit that there are those, and they are in the minority, that have gone afoul, that go contrary, and we are addressing that. We are strengthening our enforcement arm.
The government moving aggressively to select a company to manage the New Providence landfill. Press Secretary Anthony Nubo says bids were sent out last week. The landfill continues to be an issue of concern, with fires causing a problem for residents. More than a week ago, a fire broke out at the facility, and smoke from that blaze is still visible in the area. Yesterday, smoke was reportedly to blame for several schools closing its doors.
The letters to the short list of companies that are going to be invited to bid was sent out on Friday. In fact, letters to all of the companies were sent out on Friday, including those who are not going to be invited to bid, was sent out on Friday, and the RFPs will be ready by the end of this week. Again, we're talking about trying to get a new management company in there by May has been the target date.
Mr. Nubo noted that containment barriers have been installed at Clifton Pier to safeguard the environment in that area.
They've installed 640 feet of containment barrier down there at Clifton to deal with the oil spill situation down there. There's a special design system to prevent oil from seeping into the ocean.
The Jamaica Gleaner is reporting that a 32-year-old construction worker of Nassau was shot and killed in Westmoreland. The Jamaica Daily has identified him as Kareem James. Reports are that James and another man were standing along Darling Street on Sunday morning when the driver of a car pulled up and a gunman opened fire on them. James died on the spot and the other man was taken to hospital. Investigations continue. What was supposed to be a 3 to 4 hour sailing trip from Bimini to New Providence turned into an ordeal at sea for our young sailor. Kelsey Johnson has this exclusive.
I was not taking a risk of staying in the back and just...
A broken navigational system and a malfunctioning gas gauge were just two of the problems young Sammy Moss encountered while sailing from Bimini to New Providence on January 14th. This wasn't a new route for Moss, who did the run on a number of occasions, sometimes in 3 hours.
I was expecting everybody to come looking for me off the coast of Bimini and Berry Islands and in the front of Andros. Then I don't know if I would have wake up one morning and me drifting in the Cuba, so that was a risk I was not taking.
After hours of drifting on the open water, Moss got off his 20.4 feet angler and camped in bushes on the backside of Andros. He fell from a tree which he climbed in search of a signal on his cell phone. The injured Moss returned to the boat and continued drifting. He was stranded at sea for more than 14 days, relying on a case of drinking water, family-sized chips, and a pack of cookies.
I used the water because the water was still a little cold because I had ice in the boat. And I just used it as a ice pack to put on my side. I never got sick. I was using my knowledge.
A dehydrated Moss, who said he was near starvation, recalled the day he was rescued off the coast of West Palm Beach, Florida.
Monday morning was when I was found by a private yacht guy. I think his name was Chris, because that's the name I was hearing everybody calling him. And he was the guy who called the Coast Guard for me. But how Chris found me was he was driving his boat, and I started waving at him, and I noticed his head going down, and then I noticed like his crew started running out the boat and saying there was a man, like looked like he's sinking, and that's how he found me. He just came to me, used his boat as a shield so bigger waves and stuff don't hit me, and he called the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard was there in like 15 minutes. And that's when my body just shut out. Like I couldn't move my right side of my body. I didn't have no more energy.
Moss was taken to St. Mary's Medical Center, where he was treated for starvation. He was released 3 days later and is now home recovering from his injuries. Moss plans to attend classes and officially become a certified boat captain. Kelsey Johnson, ZNS Network News.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's. I'm loving it.
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm C.S. Scatterly. Sterling Global Financial has finalized the purchase of the 90-slip, 13-acre Hurricane Hole Marina site, one of the few remaining premier properties on Paradise Island. Its chairman, David Kasoy, expressed optimism that the revitalized marina, adjoining residences and retail space, would be a win-win for Atlantis. Once underway, the project will provide hundreds of construction and professional service jobs over a 5-year period. The project is expected to be a $250 million boost to the Bahamian economy. It will be headed by Sterling Global Development's president, Bill Green, a leader in resort and residential development. In other business news, Cacique International has been nominated for an award in the Best Innovative Events $500,001 and up $1,000 category in the 12th Annual ADMEI Achievement Awards. These awards are the leading international awards program honoring outstanding achievement and excellence in destination management services. Cacique's president and creative director, Sean Sawyer, says it's phenomenal for a Bahamian destination management company to be nominated for the Best Innovative Event Award, along with some of the most celebrated and distinguished DMCs in the world. This year's winners will be announced on Saturday during a gala award ceremony held at the Renaissance Chicago Downtown Hotel in Chicago, Illinois. And in international news, Amazon is now the biggest company in the state of Washington and the third largest in America. Amazon's market value soared above $685 billion, making it worth more than Microsoft for the first time ever. Microsoft's market value currently stands at $684 billion. Amazon now trails only Apple, which has a market cap of about $815 billion, and Google owner Alphabet valued at $750 billion. This has been your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm C.S. Scatterly.
Tourism today. Bahamas tourism today.
Minister of Tourism and Aviation Dionisio Diagler has dubbed the third True Bahamian Festival a complete success.
This festival encompasses everything about being Bahamian. It has all of the arts and crafts, all the different artisans, the food, the drink, everything that's here is made in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. So it's so wonderful to see. And then you add to that the music and the beat and the soul of this event, and you see why this is such an incredible event to attend.
And with 20,000 cruise visitors in port last weekend, the Ministry of Tourism partnered with BHTA to ensure that visitors from all over the world got to the festival at John Watling's for a true Bahamian experience.
If you look around, you'd see this year we have more tourists than we've had in previous years. So it's telling us that the word is getting out.
I think it's really nice here. A lot of people and a lot of things to do, to drink, to eat. And yeah, for us, it was like we enjoyed.
It's very nice. Okay. Lots of people here, lots of food. It's good.
The tourism minister was also impressed with the 70 authentically Bahamian vendors and encouraged them to keep up their good work.
It's very helpful for the business because a lot of people say, oh, I saw you at True, you know what I mean? And then we want to get Androsia everywhere.
I'm loving the festival. I have had a lot of persons come by and just admiring the raw material that we use and we use in the jewelry, and so it's been awesome.
It was always my pleasure being a part of the BHTA and definitely the True Bahamian brand.
The Ministry of Tourism congratulates the Bahamas Hotel and Tourism Association on another successful event. There's more on tourismtoday.com. I'm Nikia Christie, and this is Tourism Today.
Know how you can save more money, save more time, earn more interest, and have more for the future? The solution is an account from Fidelity Bank. With our ASU Savings, fixed deposits, and preferred client program, you can get free financial advice from our team of experts, competitive interest rates, and free online banking for simple and safe banking anytime, anywhere. Open a fixed deposit or savings account with Fidelity by visiting a branch today. Get into the rhythm of saving with Fidelity. Fidelity, we're good for you.
At first I was reluctant to change phones. I've been with the other company for so long. And you know, old folks have difficulty with this new equipment. But the number of things I've been able to do on this phone with such ease. Then the first time I switched to Live, I went into the office and I was swarmed with young persons teaching me how to do this. They were so helpful. And anytime I had any problems, I go by there. Yeah, Mr. Christie, what you need? And they take care of me. But I master this. As old as I am, I still master this. You know, it's easy to work with. I never have to leave my home to go on the street to buy a phone card. It's so easy. I buy a plan and then it auto renews. I use my credit card. And for a person like me, I need to be run all over the place. I just sit right over and boop, boop, boop. And that's it. Alive has been a joy to work with.
I choose to live healthy. That's the theme of the health program sponsored by the Seventh-day Adventist Church for the past 13 years. The church has been on this health mission, pushing for a lifestyle change. The 8 Weeks to Wellness project got underway with over 100 participants at the Old Bahamas Academy campus on Wolf Road. Pan American and World Health Organization's representative, Dr. Esther de Gorville, talked about the importance of the program.
Learning about good nutrition, learning about the effect of exercise, and having a social structure, a supportive structure, can help people to make that lifestyle change. The challenge is to continue after the 8 weeks or the 9 weeks, and here's where people need to provide support for each other. But I think it's a start of a journey, and definitely if people have come out to participate, they're motivated to begin that journey for a variety of reasons. We heard from members of the audience who are already experiencing ill health. We've heard about a grandmother who's trying to help her grandchild who is already suffering from overweight and some signs of obesity to make that journey from a young age. I think these are all good things, and we should encourage each other to adopt these healthy lifestyle choices.
Over the next few weeks, participants will engage in 2-hour sessions, and at the end of the program, they will join hundreds who have already changed their lifestyles. We talked to organizers Pastor Peter Joseph and Health Director Nathalyn LaCroix.
We do believe that the manifestation of our spiritual health must also be in our physical health. We do believe that if we're going to give God glory, right, what we eat, what we drink, we ought to do all of that to the glory of God.
Persons are realizing the importance of prevention
they don't want to be sick. You know, when God made us, the intent was for us to live forever. But of course, that changed. But there are some little things that we can do for ourselves to keep ourselves well. We want to be able to walk to the grave.
Millions of viewers around the world getting an opportunity to see the Bahamas as a popular show is coming live from the Atlantis Resort this week. Keishla Adderley tells us about the tourism boost.
This Bahamian audience member danced her way into a spot on Live with Kelly and Ryan from Atlantis today.
Live from Atlantis, Paradise Island in the Bahamas!
It was a shout-out seen by 4 million U.S. viewers, many of them perhaps wishing to trade places with those on the set.
Temperature back home would be cold. Somewhere in the 30s. When I say 30s, I mean the 30s. And it's 75 degrees currently.
It was an exciting experience for visitors soaking up the sun and some celebrity activity, and for Tourism Director General Joy Gibberlew, who was energized for other reasons.
Atlantis have already indicated that they've seen 3 times more the level of interest for bookings and on their Facebook pages. Similarly, the same results on Bahamas.com, our Tourism Today website. We know that it's going to have a huge impact. In about a week's time, we're going to have all the value in terms of media spend. But as I said, it's probably already at least 10 times the value of what the investment would have been.
It's all music to the ears of Atlantis executive Russell Miller, who says the show has been another push following an impressive last quarter.
On a very high note. Strong occupancies, strong ADR. We had one of the best Christmas, New Year's ever, and we're off to a great start for the first quarter of this year. Numbers are looking very encouraging.
So I decided to go to the Exumas, did a little snorkeling, fed the stingrays, swam with the sharks.
A little island hopping is good, and show producer Michael Gelman says 4 Bahamas shows later, it hasn't gotten old.
And even doing certain things again, they're still great. I mean, what's not great about, jumping in the water and, scuba diving or snorkeling or, swimming with the sharks. I mean, that's good. That'll be good in another 10 years too. But there's plenty to do, and I don't mind repeating ourselves.
A strong endorsement that once is not enough. Keishla Adderley, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Keishla. Stay close. Sports and Family Island weather are up next. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report.
Do not give or send your PIN and passwords to anyone. Do not respond to messages asking for personal and financial information. Banks will never call or send messages asking for your private information such as your PIN, your password, your access code, credit card number, or account number. Phishing is a type of identity theft where criminals use scare tactics to bait you into giving personal and financial details. These calls, emails, or texts are not legitimate.
If you own a portfolio of securities within a brokerage account, like stocks, bonds, or mutual funds, you can access a hassle-free loan, known as a margin loan, based on the value of that portfolio. Your investment portfolio is essentially used as collateral for a cash loan. And the benefits are numerous. Simple and straightforward application, quick turnaround, a more competitive interest rate, no requirement for monthly payments. Contact us for more information on margin loans.
Fanta, supporting the greatest expression of Bahamian culture. More than one flavor, still one family.
Value at quality supermarkets, and after that holiday season, I really appreciate it. Rosoni Ready Cut Macaroni 14.1 ounce box, 99 cents. Whole chicken wings, $1.59 per pound. Par Excellence Par Bar Rice 5-pound bag, $2.99. Vitamal Tonic case price, $23.76. 12 ounce bottle price, 99 cents. Sweet Peaches, $1.59 per pound. Sunny Delight Smooth or Tangy 64 ounce size, $1.99. Savings when you need it most. That's super value and quality supermarkets.
Performance speaks for itself. Pennzoil Synthetics, made from natural gas. Make the switch.
And it's time now for a check on temperatures around our family islands. Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean joins us live in studio with the latest. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, LaDawn. In our second look at weather, we're going to take a look at temperatures around the Family Valleys, and they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. It is 75 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, also Green Tulkey. That's in Abaco. Allenstown, Bimini at 75 degrees. Here in the capital, 82. Roxanne, Eleuthera, 76, 77 degrees in Fresh Creek. That's Central Andrews. We pick up another string of 77s. Alderstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rumkey. A little further south as we go into Betsy Bay, Maguana, 77. Also, Ackland's at 77. Grand Turks and the Caicos Island, they have a temperature of 78 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter. In the northwestern parts of our country, your winds are going to be out of the northeast to east, just around 12 to 18 knots, wave height 3 to 6 feet with a moderate chop. Tide-wise, going to be high at 101 in the morning. For the central and southeastern islands, the winds northeast to east as well. Speeds 15 to 20 knots, so we have those caution flags up for your boaters. The wave heights are going to be on the choppy side, 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. And then tomorrow in the northwestern islands, winds becoming more easterly at 12 to 18 knots, wave heights remaining around 3 to 6 feet over the ocean. Low tide 7:21 in the morning, high tide at 1:15 in the afternoon. In the central and southeastern islands tomorrow, which is Wednesday, easterly winds 15 to 20 knots, wave heights 4 to 7 feet, and hence that caution flag will continue for the central and southeastern islands tomorrow. And then as we take you into Thursday, easterly winds, but they're coming down quite nicely, 10 to 15 knots, wave heights down 2 to 4 feet. Low tide 8:22 in the morning, high tide at 2:12 in the afternoon. For the central and southeastern islands on Thursday, easterly winds as well. Speeds 12 to 18 knots, wave heights down 3 to 6 feet over the ocean, but we'll continue to keep that caution there for you boaters in the central and southeastern parts of the country. And that's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your trial forecast, and your trial forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. Forecast brought to you by Royal Star Assurance, but stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Welcome to Tips for Wellness. I'm Dr. Indira Grimes. Polycystic ovary syndrome, or PCOS, is a condition that occurs when an imbalance of hormone levels in a woman's body causes cysts to form in the ovaries. The cysts are like tiny fluid-filled balloons. PCOS can cause changes in a woman's menstrual cycle, fertility, hormone levels, heart and blood vessels, and appearance. Women can develop PCOS during their teenage or childbearing years. Usually women who have PCOS have irregular, infrequent, or no menstrual periods. They may also have trouble getting pregnant. Some women who have PCOS do not experience any symptoms. Other signs and symptoms of PCOS may include acne, overweight and obesity, excess hair growth on the face, nipple area, chest, lower abdomen, and thighs, thinning hair or bald spots, dark patches of skin, anxiety or depression, and pelvic pain. Women who have PCOS are also more likely to have type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol and triglycerides. Together with obesity, these conditions are known as metabolic syndrome. If you or someone you know suspects symptoms of PCOS, see a doctor as soon as possible and get advice about diagnosis and treatment. This has been Tips for Wellness. I'm Dr. Indira Grimes. Live your best life by living well.
Life is better with Rubis Rewards. Just fuel up and swipe for your chance to win free fuel, cash back in our stores, restaurant and store discounts from our partners, plus prizes and surprises. It doesn't get better than this. Your Rubis Reward tag is free at every Rubis service station in New Providence. Get yours today. Rubis, it's just better.
Where can you find amazing selections of tiles from around the world? Exquisite medallions, pool mosaics, all colorful, bright and bold. They got granite countertop for the kitchen, elegant vanity zincs for the bathroom, tile care and ruby too. Everything you need and more at the Tile King. The Tile King, located 69 Wolf Road. For more information, call 326-TILE or 326-5464.
At Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center, we provide imaging services to meet all your family's needs. Same goes for imaging at Grosvenor. We're the imaging experts. We never schedule multiple appointments, so you'll be in and out in no time. And if your initial screening reveals a concern, our radiology specialist can consult your doctor and conduct an alternative screening right then and there. Results are ready within 24 hours. Call 328-8157 to schedule an appointment at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor today.
Now, when you buy Libby's Vienna sausages and Chef Boyardee pasta products, you can enter at Pritchard's to win up to $1,000 cash or $500 gift certificates. Buy Libby's Vienna sausages and Chef Boyardee and enter today.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. The government secondary school's best of 3 basketball playoffs back on court yesterday at the AF Adderley Gym. The junior girls up first after taking game 1. The S. McPherson Sharks looking for the sweep, but the T.A. Thompson Scorpions wouldn't go away quietly. The Scorpions stay alive, and even the series had won all with a 30-21 Game 2 victory.
To win here, it means a lot to me because I think the first game that we played, we were a little antsy, we were excited. This is the first time that T.A. Thompson has been there in a long time in the playoffs, so the girls were a little bit overexcited, I would say. And so we settled down today and we played T.A. Thompson basketball.
Our girls just came out flat today. We just had to hit the boards. I told them that no one's going to give them anything. They have to work for everything they want, so they have to come out and play tomorrow. T.A. Thompson came out to play today, and that's what they did.
Just told the girls that they needed to settle down and play their basketball. Once they play their basketball, we have good players, and a lot of them are young. I have actually 7th and 8th graders. That's what my team based on. So we just want to come out here and allow them to play their basketball. And once we play our basketball, I'm sure that we can make it to the championship.
On to the junior boys now, and the C.H. Reeves Raptors didn't want a chance going the distance. They sweep the S. McPherson Sharks, taking game 2, 34-22.
They came out here and they did everything they're supposed to do. They executed everything from practice. They just went in there to give a hard fight, and that's what they had to do to get the victory.
The first game was free throws, and this game was layups. That's obvious, man, and that's like the fundamental of basketball, making layups or you're not going to have a chance at it. But, you know, this is the 3rd time we make it to the playoffs again with these young guys. They've been 3 times in a row. They have a lot to grow about basketball, about slowing the ball down, getting too anxious, playing with each other. And I think they're going to grow more from this when they move on to high school.
Up next in the Junior Boys Championship for C.H. Reeves will be the Donald Davis Royals, and the Raptors will definitely need to bring their A game.
Don't stop. Tomorrow we back out there. We can go and continue practice. Work on the small things. Them same little things with the skill you come big in the big games.
This was the scene at the AF Adderley Gym following the junior boys game. That's right, it was lights out, meaning the senior girls and senior boys games were pushed back. 2 high school basketball games played in Eleuthera yesterday. Central Eleuthera senior boys taking care of Preston Albury 43-24. The situation much the same on the senior girls side. Central Eleuthera winning over Preston Albury 44-4. From the NBA, Buddy Hield will participate in the Taco Bell Skills Challenge February 17th during All-Star Weekend in LA. Buddy replaces Utah Jazz rookie guard Donovan Mitchell, who withdrew to replace Orlando forward Aaron Gordon in the slam dunk contest. Buddy also playing in the Rising Stars game February 16th. He is the Sacramento Kings' top three-point shooter and ranks 9th in the NBA this season at 43.2%. Now, after learning about that late yesterday, Buddy and the Kings, they came from behind to beat the Chicago Bulls 104-98. Buddy finishing up with 14 points. We have more tonight from last week's World Baseball Softball Confederation Congress. According to President of the English Caribbean Softball Confederation, Burkett Dorset, there is now a new structure in place.
The whole thing will now be known as the World Cup instead of the various championships. Everything would be World Cups, and they're placing a lot of emphasis on the under-19 boys, it's not boys, but they call it under-19 men and women, starting in the year 2019. They're qualifying rounds, and then in some cases where it might not be time to do those qualifiers, they would go by the rankings. And for the under-19 women, it would be done based on the finish in clear water that they had in the tournament late last year. What the WBC of the Americas want to do is to sort of formalize all stats for the players around the world, around the region, so at the end of the day, they can have national awards or international awards for the players. Emphasis has also been placed on the umpiring situation, where we would have regional umpires in chief for the certain areas, and that regional umpire, that deputy umpire in chief, would be responsible for training umpires in their particular region, and the WBC of Americas would accept those umpires as certified umpires.
Dorset also spoke about some good news for those countries struggling in our region.
There's a grant that's being provided by the IOC for hurricane zone. Those countries that are in hurricane zone, the facilities were affected by a hurricane. They can apply to the local Olympic Association for funds to have those facilities fixed and bring back up to playing condition.
The Camperdown Equestrian Center came alive over the weekend with their semi-annual show and inter-school competition. Our Kelsey Johnson was there.
You usually don't have cheering squads at horse shows, but who could resist the urge of screaming when young riders such as Kelly Kuskalis, Riley Harper, Samantha Sands, Eliane Higgs, and Katie Kelly clears an obstacle? They are the country's future in equestrian, and these young riders put on a show on Saturday at Camperdown.
Actually, the best part was when everybody started cheering, like, "Go Riley, go!" I'm like, yes, I can do this. There was a really hard turn in our course, and when I made the turn, everyone's like, "Go Sam, go make the turn, you did it!"
The early morning ride on Saturday was all about the younger jockeys who had a blast.
That was my first horse show, and I had 2 first place. I got first place in walk and second place in trot. I got this one. I got in my medal class, and I got my 2 and my 2 seconds in my jumping.
Kelsey Johnson, ZNS Total Sports.
With the BAISS Basketball Championships finishing up last Friday, it's straight into the private school soccer season this week. Yesterday's Sacs Big Red Machine getting off to a winning start in the senior boys division. They shut out the Kingsway Academy Saints 11-0. Queen with a bit of bad luck at this past weekend's Farmers Key Class C regatta. With victory in sight in the second series race, it was all taken away.
We had a good start and we were out front. What happened is, because the organizers don't have like a loudspeaker, we really didn't get the race course. And so we led the race for 2.5 laps, and we thought the race was over. We were headed back to the finish line to shore, not knowing that there was another buoy out that we had to go around.
The Whitty K once again was the class of the field, winning the Farmers Key Regatta, but Smashy was also able to hold her own.
I had to settle for third place this time, but next time I can get them. But all of the boat is very fast, and you make one mistake and you get beat.
How tough it is to beat Whitty K?
It's very hard to beat Whitty K with the crew. She is a good boat, she got good crew, and she rigged proper. It's hard to beat her, but I believe like one of these days I gonna beat her.
Making their way to the Farmers Key Regatta to catch the action was the minister responsible for regattas, the Honourable Renward Wells, and the Member of Parliament for the area, Chester Cooper.
Regattas are always an excellent opportunity to be able to see what's going on in terms of sailing in the country, and I'm always pleased to be a part of it, and it's always an exciting time, especially for the people in the islands or the community wherein we're actually having the regatta. It is such an economic boost and push for those persons within those communities, and so I'm always not amazed as overall the talent of the people who are involved in sailing and sloop sailing.
These homecoming and regattas are important elements of our calendar, and this is an opportunity not just for camaraderie, not just for visitors to experience true island life, but it's an opportunity for us to come together and help to boost the economy here in Farmers Cay. So I'm going to challenge you, Farmers Cay, when I come back next year, I hope to stay in Farmers Cay. There's not enough accommodations here in Farmers Cay. So I'm going to encourage you to build some cottages.
The next regatta set for Exuma will be the Bull Rage, which was postponed from New Year's. The big question now, will the Witty K be in attendance?
I got to talk to my crew. Buzzy asked me if we would come, so we'll make a decision by next week if we're going to go. But I would like to sail in it. The New Year's don't work out too well for me scheduling-wise. Because of the delay, I think we might show up.
The City Bowling League with competition last night at Mario's. Soneth Lockhart led Carib Construction to a sweep over Telco Enterprises. He toppled the pins for a 244 high game and a 649 three-game set. Raymond Adderley assisted with a 238 game of his own, while Marina McLean had a 235 game and a 636 set. In the loss, David Slatter a 638 set as well. Gigatech, they picked up a 2-1 win over NUA behind a 238 game from Ansel Ferguson. Driscoll Rule of the Assure Win Pocket Pleasers also scoring a 2-1 win over the BEC Shockers. Driscoll, she crushed the pins for a 256 game and a 636 set. Elsewhere, the CDM Knights blind the 10-back Strikers. Clayton Gardner Associates winning 2-1 over the Avengers. The City Leaguers, they won 2-1 as well over the Brooklyn Strikers. Checkers Cafe and the Island Game Strokers, they scored 2-1 wins too, taking care of the ENU Water Coolers and Bahamas Air Flyers respectively. And that will do it for sports. Stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight comes back after the break.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. All for you at the British Colonial Hilton. Join us for an unforgettable experience as we present the Muna Love Affair, Sunday, February 18th at 4 p.m. at the British Colonial Hilton. Reserve your tickets today at mlabahamas.eventbrite.com.
Influenza, or the flu as it is commonly called, is a viral illness that usually occurs between the months October to March. The virus is transmitted from person to person through coughing, sneezing, or talking. Symptoms include fever, cough, headache, runny nose, generalized body aches, and fatigue. There is no specific treatment for the flu, and the symptoms usually dissipate after 3 to 7 days. Because it is caused by a virus, antibiotics are not used to treat the flu. Persons are encouraged to rest and drink lots of fluids. Panadol is recommended for fever and body aches associated with the flu. However, aspirin should be avoided due to the risk of bleeding. To decrease the spread of flu, persons are encouraged to get their flu shot annually and practice good cough hygiene. Additional information can be provided by your community clinic or the Health Education Division at the Ministry of Health. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
What you see and hear on this television station is governed by IRCA's Code of Practice for Content Regulation. The Code of Practice covers matters relating to program content that are of concern to the community, such as local content, news, current affairs, programs for children, advertising, including political advertisements, and the responsibilities associated with broadcasting in the Bahamas. The Code also covers aspects such as access services for the hearing and visually impaired, and the procedure for lodging a complaint about anything broadcast by this station. The code is available on the IRCA website at www.ircabahamas.bs. To receive a copy of the code by mail or in person, you may telephone IRCA at 242-393-0234. Family Island dialing is toll-free at 1-242-300-8722, or you may send a request by email to info@ircabahamas.bs.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, taking a look at our satellite picture, we have an old frontal trough well to the south of the Bahamas, and then there's that second one just across the central parts of the country, still producing a little bit of low-level cloudiness, and behind that, that high pressure will remain in place, and that means you're going to continue to have some brisk to moderate winds, particularly in the central and southeastern parts of the country over the next couple of days. And then tonight, though, we're going in for partly cloudy conditions, still on the mild side with your low temperature getting down to 71 degrees. Tomorrow, it's going to be another beautiful day, partly sunny and warm, with that moderate breeze staying in place, and that will keep things kind of comfortable for you. 81 degrees will be the high temperature, and your extended weather forecast over the next 7 days, as we can tell you, lots of sunshine heading right into the weekend. Temperatures during the daytime in the low 80s, and we're keeping those nighttime temperatures in the low 70s. No frontal system seem to be on the way anytime soon, so we'll have to contend with the brisk winds, which will, like I said, keep things nice and comfy for you, and continue to enjoy the temperatures that we have. But before I leave, my good friend Antoine Sanders is celebrating a birthday today, so we want to wish him a happy birthday, particularly from his Dalton friends. And I think this one of our colleagues.
My good cousin Randy Knowles celebrated his birthday yesterday, and Desmond Saunders celebrated his birthday today.
Are you going to sing to them?
No, I'm not going to sing to them. My vocal cords are not in order today.
Basil, you? No?
No, I'll just say happy birthday, leave it as that. Huh?
Me too. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
And immediately following this newscast is the program Nation Building. And with that, we end the Bahamas Tonight, the national report for all of us here at ZNS. I'm LaDawn Davis. Make it a great evening, everyone.
What you see and hear on this television station is governed by IRCA's Code of Practice for Content Regulation. The Code of Practice covers matters relating to program content that are of concern to the community, such as local content, news, current affairs, programs for children, advertising, including political advertisements, and the responsibilities associated with broadcasting in the Bahamas. The Code also covers aspects such as access services for the hearing and visually impaired, and the procedure for lodging a complaint about anything broadcast by this station. The code is available on the IRCA website at www.ircabahamas.bs. To receive a copy of the code by mail or in person, you may telephone IRCA at 242-393-0234. Family Island dialing is toll-free at 1-242-300-8722. Or you may send a request by email to info@ircabahamas.bs.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Nation Building. On our program, we examine the political, social, and moral issues in the leadership of the Bahamas. On our program today, we have a very special guest. In fact, this is a new year, and we are starting the new year right. As we say, we're going to church, or we're bringing church to us. And so today, we're pleased to have Bishop Kermit Saunders, and he is the pastor of Kingdom Worship Center International in Freeport, Grand Bahama. So when we come back from this break, we're going to dive in.
It's a new day. This is our new day. And in the blue glow of the morning, there's still time to reach back into our dreams. To become dreamers in the daylight. And live our lives and hopes with open eyes. Yes, this is the day to do the things that will fill our lives with joy and with love. Dreamers in the daylight. Anything is possible. This is our new day. We are alive.
Who said you can't get great quality products at an affordable price? If you want the best quality food products at the most affordable prices, you must pick up the Jamaica Bahama brand of fine quality products at